Hello, welcome back to Air Fry Bro. Today I'm going to give you my review of the Uten 6.9 Quart Digital Air Fryer. Before we start, I'd like to say that I've got a full written review over at my website which will go into more details and show you more images of the product. If you're interested in that, I'll leave a link in the description. So, what do I think of this Uten 6.9 Quart Digital Air Fryer? Is it any good? Should you buy it? Well, I'm going to say the things I like and I don't like so that you can hopefully decide for yourself. So, what do I like about this air fryer? You're actually getting quite a lot of air fryer for your money. A 6.9 quart air fryer is pretty much one of the larger ones that you will get for a traditional air fryer style like this. You would really only get larger than that if you were buying an air fryer oven. So yeah, it's pretty big, and for that kind of price, it is very, very good value. I think I paid 59 US for this. The regular price is around 89 US, but you often find that this one is on offer. So for the price, it's very good value, and you are getting a large air fryer for that. So let me show you the size. So you could pretty easily fit a decent size chicken in there. You know, I think for most households you would find that this is large enough. The final thing that I like about this air fryer is the fact that it is quiet. I've used a decibel meter, if I can speak, on this air fryer and some other air fryers that I've either owned or tested, and this one is on the lower end of the noise level. So if you're after a quiet air fryer, this might be a good air fryer for you. So yes, it's a cheap air fryer, it's pretty big, and it's quiet. And yeah, it looks okay. I wouldn't say that the design is anything amazing. It will fit into any kitchen and look fairly decent. It doesn't look really cheap, but on the other hand, it doesn't look like it's a very expensive, amazing design. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. It passes, you know, for the price of this air fryer. I think it's pretty solid when it comes to design. So, what are the things that I don't like about this air fryer? The main sticking point, literally, is the fact you can't operate it with one hand very easily, or you know, the drawer here is quite stuck in the unit, so you can't really. And then when you're trying to push it in, look, it's quite hard to push in with one hand, so you end up having to use two hands a lot of the time. See, it's a bit sticky. You know, and you kind of have to slam it a little bit to get it back in, which is not ideal, because for me, I like to be able to use an air fryer with one hand, and it's a little bit annoying when you can't really do that when you're in the kitchen. It kind of makes it a bit harder for you to use the unit, right? And also, I'm a little bit worried that with heavy usage, I mean, I can already see that the corners here are starting to get kind of scraped up, right, from the abrasion, you know, from that badly fitting drawer. So over time, I'm not sure if that will hold up very well. So I would say that's the number one annoying thing with this air fryer, that the fact that it's, you know, essentially a design flaw, that the drawer doesn't fit into the air fryer unit very easily. Also, the cooking performance is pretty good, but I would say it's slightly not as good as the Philips air fryer that I usually use. The problem when you make air fryers larger like this is you have to make sure that you have the hardware that can still maintain the intense high temperature cooking that an air fryer is for. I mean, it's essentially supposed to replace a deep fat fryer. So here I feel they've, you know, slightly skimped out. It's not really bad. Things will still cook well, but it doesn't really brown up or crisp up things quite as well as my other Philips air fryers. If you're after the ultimate in cooking performance, this won't be the air fryer for you. Okay, so one of the other things that I'm not a big fan of is the insulation on this air fryer is not as good as my Philips air fryer. It is, well, when I use it, when it's in full flow, it will warm up. The sides will warm up quite a lot more than I've had on my other air fryer. It's not going to burn you, so it's not like it's a burn risk, but I don't like the fact that it heats up that much, and for me that is an indication that it is not as energy efficient. So yeah, that's another downside. I also find that it has some rubber pads. So if I show you this again, now this is basically one piece, whereas sometimes air fryers have an air fryer basket and then the cooking compartment as like a separate thing, but this is basically one piece. So then you have this part here in the middle that will lift out so that you can clean underneath, and it means you can have the food slightly raised up from the bottom. Now the thing I don't like about this is, I'll show you if I can put that, maybe I'll put that here for now. There are some pads. See these rubber pads? Now I'm sure that they've used rubber that is not going to break down on intense heat, but for me, I just want to err on the side of caution. I don't feel particularly comfortable using something in my air fryer that has a lot of rubber on it, because, you know, air fryers are using intense heat when they are cooking. So yeah, for me personally, that's a downside. I suppose that would be a personal choice for you, whether you would find that a major downside. And the other thing is, I'll say that I haven't used this extensively. I would say that I've used this air fryer about maybe 10 times, something like that. So at the moment, we haven't really had the chance to test the durability of the non-stick coating inside. One of the major issues with air fryers, especially cheap ones, is that the non-stick coating will start to break down very quickly. So I will do an update video. I'm going to use this as my main air fryer, hopefully quite soon, and then after a bit more hard use, I will let you know and do an update video as to whether the non-stick coating is actually any good. And you see what I mean? It's just a little bit annoying. The control panel, yeah, there is a digital control panel at the top. It's very basic. It has a few, like maybe 6 presets, and you can easily choose the temperature and the heat. It's a fairly standard control panel. I find it easy to use. There's nothing really to write home about, but it works. So yeah, so I would say that if you're in the market for a cheap air fryer, which is relatively large, this is a pretty decent option. You aren't going to find the perfect air fryer at that price point, so it's up to you to decide whether the sticky compartment and the slightly subpar cooking performance will be a game breaker for you. So thank you for watching this video, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.